Back to Philly Sports Unfiltered. Guys, it is exciting. We have real football back. No more of this practice stuff. We actually had a game. So we are here to talk about the Eagles' first preseason game against the Jets. And I think to all of our surprise, the starters played. And we got to see a lot of players in an Eagles uniform. And I think that we actually ended up getting a lot of information from this game. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm thrilled that Nick Sirianni decided to play the starters and we got to see some of these players in game action. Let's get straight into it. So, the score isn't what is as important. What's important is what we saw happen, I think in the first half of the game. So the Jets did win 24-21. But if you were watching that football game objectively and you were saying, okay, which of these two teams look like the better teams? Eagles look like a far better team, and there was far more just standout plays on the Eagles side of the football. And I have a lot of really good takeaways from this game. Firstly, I just want to say kudos to Nick Sirianni because I've been super critical about how he has been managing the offense in the preseason, in the training camp so far. And he said the reason why he decided to play the starters in this preseason game was because of the slow start that the offense has been having. He felt like they needed to work. So hats off to Nick Sirianni for getting the job done and finally understanding what the team needed. Now, biggest story of this game, Jalen Hurts was perfect. He was perfect in this game. There was only one drive, but you couldn't look better than Jalen Hurts looked on that drive. He was 6 for 6, absolutely perfect from the pocket. The ball looked zippy coming out of his hand. He was throwing well-placed balls, threw for 80 yards, an average of 13.3 yards per pass, which is great. He threw for a touchdown. First play of the game, boom, he hit Quez Watkins 28 yards down the field. He extended the play with his feet a little bit to buy himself some time. Hit Quez down the sideline. He had a couple really nice screen passes to Miles Sanders. It was great to see him involved in the passing game. Hurts basically led the team to 2 touchdowns on the same drive because he had a beautiful rushing TD that ended up being called back on a hold. I believe it was on Mailata, which was sort of a BS call. And then he had a really beautiful TD throw to Goddard. Goddard had a really nice catch, really good second effort to break himself across the goal line. So just overall, I was really impressed with Jalen Hurts, and it was good to see, they started in the hurry up, which is, I think, is the best possible thing that you can do. Things haven't been going well. Put them in the hurry up, put some pressure on the defense, just let them go out there and play street ball. And it worked out well. Hurts looked sharp. As I said, he had a good touch, good spiral, good zip. Just everything was very positive. There's nothing bad to say. Great game by Hurts. And Minshew wasn't so bad himself. Minshew was 8-12 for 81 yards. He looked okay. Looks like he still has some rust to shake off. But overall, for a backup QB, looked good. And as we suspected, Carson Strong completely out of the rotation. Now, I want to get to the take that literally excited me even more than Jalen Hurts. Cam Jurgens, I don't say this lightly. Cam Jurgens played, I think, one of the best games that I've ever seen a rookie offensive lineman play in the NFL. He was incredible. I could not believe how professional he looked. I couldn't believe just his physical traits. Like, I was seeing him, like, on occasion get knocked off, his block, and his ability to recover and re-engage on blocks on the offensive line when he's blocking in the passing game. His ability to get to the second level and be out in space, okay? Blocking in the running game. He looked like Jason Kelsey. He looked like an elite, savvy veteran who knew how to do it all. Somebody who just wasn't going to be physically dominant blocking on the line in passing situations, but someone in the screen pass game, someone who in the running game who knew how to get to another level, who knew how to erase linebackers, who knew how to erase linemen, who knew how to erase defensive backs. Cam Jurgens, that boy was playing a symphony last night. Like, it was incredible. I am so encouraged, and Ross Tucker did such a great job calling the game and pointing out the things that Cam Jurgens was doing. This might be the best pick of the draft for us. Like I'm after watching that, I'm even more hyped for Cam Jurgens than for Nakobe Dean or for Jordan Davis. He just looked like a veteran. Like he already looked like a pro. He looked like, oh man. Let me just stop because I might have to make a separate video about Cam Jurgens, but wow, are we lucky to have this guy to be stepping in for Jason Kelce whenever Kelce hangs it up. What a pick. Just what a pick. Also, I want to touch on BG because we have been talking about how he has been bouncing back from his injury. He looked like himself. He looked like the old BG. He was playing fast. He was energetic. He was doing BG things. He was back in the backfield. Had a really awesome tackle for loss. He teamed up. I think he teamed up with TJ Edwards on that one. And I mean, he just looked like Brandon Graham, and that is great news for the defensive line. We need that energy. We need that bowling ball out there, just ramming people over, playing in the backfield, getting those TFLs. Beautiful work by Brandon Graham in that game. I'm just so happy that he's bounced back. Now, the next player that I want to touch on, and honestly, I can already sense, like, outside of Cam Jurgens, obviously I was just simping all over his performance, but I already have a strong feeling that Kyzir White is going to be one of my favorite Eagles this year. When you watch this guy, there's some players that you're watching on the screen and you can just see the electricity. You can see the power, the quickness, the aggressiveness. Their energy just sort of radiates. It just pops off your screen. That is Kyzir White. This dude, like, he looks like he's going Super Saiyan when he's out there. Like, he's just on a different energy level. He's super physical, super aggressive. He's really good in pass coverage. I mean, he was out there popping people, had a beautiful interception. This guy, I think he is going to end up being a fan favorite. I thought he had an incredible game. I just love the way that he plays. I just love the energy. It's good to just see somebody on our defense, somebody that's a linebacker that is a beast. I think we're going to love this man in Philly. I'm hyped. I'm just absolutely hyped to have Kyzir White on this team. And I'm just thrilled with the linebacker core right now. And that brings me into Nakobe Dean. Now, some people have been a little bit worried about Nakobe Dean. He did get off to a slow start in training camp. And he was saying that he was still, learning the playbook a little bit. But when he went out there and took the field, he did get significant run last night, and his instincts just took over. He looked like somebody that was highly instinctual. He was always around the ball. He always knew which way the ball was going. He's a phenomenal tackler. I think he had 5 tackles and 4 solo tackles last night. Just very fundamentally sound. This guy is going to be a good player for the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. Whether he's a starter, breakout superstar this year or not, he is a good football player. And he is a better linebacker than what we've had for a really long time. And now I think we're pretty flush at linebacker with a lot. I mean, we're stacked, to be honest. If you're looking at how TJ Edwards is playing, Kyzir White, Nakobe Dean, like, we are stacked at linebacker right now. And it's exciting because we have not been this way for a long time. Last player I want to touch on just before going over some stats, it's going to be Jordan Davis. So they were really like plugging the Jordan Davis hype train like really hard, in that preseason game. I did see some moments where he flashed, where he just looked really strong, and you're like, okay, yeah, this dude is going to be legit. Like he was clogging up the lane. He was powerful. But I will tell you honestly what I saw, because I have to keep it legit. Like I have to keep it 100. He looks like he doesn't have his cardio where it needs to be. After one play, he was already sucking air. I just saw he looked like he was gassed throughout the game. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think that he's in the shape that he needs to be in. He looked gassed to me. Let me know if you saw the same thing. I saw him out there on his first play just sucking wind. And that made me a little bit concerned. Like, I do know that a lot of rookies, when they come into the NFL, it takes them a year to really learn how to diet, how to take care of their bodies, how to be like physically the best version of themselves. And after watching that, I'm feeling like it might take Jordan Davis more time to be the player that we hope that he can be because it might take him more time to just get his body to where it needs to be. That was my read on it. I'm curious to know your guys' read. And finally, just go over just some stats, just some random things. Jason Huntley took most of the carries last night. To me, he just didn't look special at all, whether it was in the return game or whether it was as a running back. I do think he's capable of playing better, but he just didn't really show me much. Zach Pascal, in limited play, he looked really good. He looks like he's a receiver that focuses on small details. He can be really good as a blocker. He looks like a good route runner, and I'm hyped to have him as a depth piece at wide receiver. Also, another just random comment, Jalen Reagor, he looks pedestrian. Like he still just doesn't look like an NFL player. They said he's got his body right. You know, he just looks the same he's always looked, which is pedestrian, a guy who, as soon as he catches the ball, he is tackled immediately to the ground. He doesn't get any yards after the catch. Like he for me, he's just a nothing blah player, and I don't think he's ever going to be anything different. And the final thing that I will say, Britton Covey, he looks talented. I think there could be something there. I think there's a chance he makes the team on special teams. He looks like he just has a knack for special teams. That's where I'm going to leave it, guys. It's a lot to take in for one preseason game. Let me know what your observations are in the comment section below. And as always, if you find yourself enjoying the videos, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving me a thumbs up button, because it does help out the channel. And guys, that's all I have for this one. Exciting day, great game, pumped for the next one. Go Birds.